How do you squeeze years of a massive arc in one episode and actually make it good? Following the two-part premiere of X-Men 97, I was hyped. We had some amazing characterization, cool moments, and to top it all off, one of the best twists. As a comic reader, I knew what this cliffhanger meant. X-Men Inferno. Coming to episode 3, I was so excited to see how they would adapt the storyline, and they crushed it. I'm not gonna lie though, in the beginning, the episode scared me a little bit. The pacing turned way up. I was worried they wouldn't get as crazy and as cunty as they wanted Madelyn Pryor to be. And while they changed quite a bit, notably the underboob action, we still got our Goblin Queen in all her witchy glory. However, what was an entire saga in the X-Men comics became a singular episode in the show. An entire arc of a human woman befriending the X-Men, looking eerily similar to Jean, falling in love with Scott, getting married, having kids, then Scott leaving her as soon as Jean comes back from the dead, recoiling from the worst break I've ever heard of. You make a pact with the devil, and yes, finally becomes the Goblin Queen. How do they fit all of that into a single episode and make it so damn amazing? Not only is this episode the best of the new series, but it's better than most of Marvel's animation. What if? The visuals of black magic, the hell landscape, and the humor was amazing here.
Oh dear. I think one of us has the wrong floor.
With all of these superficial markings of a show excelling, how does the actual story hold up? Well, let's start with this new plot and the changes made to it. The story starts after the twist of episode 2, where a woman who looks remarkably similar to Jean Grey stumbles into Morph's arms stating that she needs the X-Men. The episode starts with the mystery of who is this clone on her doorstep. Beast doing tests and Jean reading her mind, stating she only got awareness recently, affirming that she is the real Jean. Beast, however, contradicts this by announcing that the clone is her, and after doing carbon dating on both of them, he realizes how much older the new Jean is. This sends our Jean Grey into a spiral, with everyone unsure and feeling strange. What pushes her over the edge is that the man she loves, the father of her child, Scott Summers, her eternal rock, turns away from her. She goes to her room. While the team disperses to avoid the ominous situation, in her room the Jean clone learns who her maker is, Mr. Sinister. This instant he activates his latent control over her, foreshadowed by the diamond we see earlier. This causes the X-Men to turn into a hellscape, where each member of the X-Men has their own personal demons shown to them. We see Roberto's mom, Morph, Wolverine, and then Gambit getting cucked. That was kind of fucked up. They fight and win thanks to the real Jean Grey. After this, the Goblin Queen appears, fully evil under the control of Sinister, which they do not learn until Beast finds evidence in the genes. After figuring out Sinister's behind this, Magneto sends a strike force to Mr. Sinister, hoping to end it once for all. Unfortunately, the Goblin Queen is far too strong and absolutely wrecks them, especially Magneto. He got whooped. Jean's still recovering and the mansion is awoken with the help of Wolverine, who can't stop trying to confess his love. She brushes him off when she realizes that her man is in danger. Then the two Jean Greys fight, with the original winning due to her compassion, soothing Goblin Queen's broken heart. After they save Nathan, who's experimented on by Sinister with a techno-organic virus, they are forced to send him with Bishop to the future where they have a cure. And Cyclops is so distraught, abandoning his son after his father abandoned him. In the end, the Jean clone makes her departure like she wanted to from episode 1 under the name of Madelyn Pryor, making peace with the original Jean Grey. For what feels like a long story, it only took 30 minutes to tell. While plot points were set up in early episodes, it's still a surprisingly satisfying story that ultimately does what an adaptation should always do: capture the spirits, the themes, messages, and overall feeling of a tale. X-Men Inferno is a story about betrayal, loss of identity, and being reborn corrupted. The show nails each of these by being faithful to the story, but creating something new with it. The biggest change, in my opinion, is that the comics have Madelyn Pryor be a separate person, created after Jean died and planted with fake memories, so that Mr. Sinister could have a Jean Grey clone mate with Scott Summers and take their baby. In the show, she's a perfect clone, taking her place completely. This makes the mystery all the more compelling. Even at the end, we have no idea how and when the genes were switched. This also turns a rather complex story of a clone, but not really, into a simple clone replacement story. Now, while I love this change to the story, there are also some issues with it. Funnily enough, it's that Madelyn Pryor loses her identity, along with some personality, uniqueness, and charm. Her original character in the comics was a whole separate person, albeit a clone, but still had her own personality. She was a pilot, a human without mutant powers, fighting for mutant rights. The most important thing is that her powers came from a pact that she created with a devil. Her choices caused her to corrupt after learning she was Mr. Sinister's breeding tool, a decision made in hope for gaining autonomy, control, and identity after losing everything to Sinister. This was her moment to remake herself as the Goblin Queen. In this show, ironically, everything comes from Sinister: her personality, body, memories, and worst of all, her powers. Madelyn Pryor's name is more of a shoehorn Easter egg for comic fans than it's anything of substance in the show. What does it mean in universe? Furthermore, where does a character like this go from here? What future arcs could she have? That question could be forgotten or answered with more creativity. Aside from the simplification of Maddie's character, the episode is still my favorite so far. Between the emphasis on Morph's internal conflict and PTSD from Sinister, to the comic accurate fight between Jean and Maddie, always ending in some sisterly love. I think the episode has a lot going for it. I hope we can see more of Maddie. Maybe Alex Summers will find a way to be her pet in the future. Let me know if you guys see what I mean about this episode. I think adaptations are like alchemy. There is always a cost. Peace.